So, welcome everyone. This is the opening ceremony for the Decentralized Intelligence Season 2 Hackathon. I'm super excited to have all of you over here. And, since the last time, I've been looking forward to this one for a while now. So, I see some familiar faces in the chat and some familiar applications. So, super excited to have you all here. And thank you for joining. So, just some quick context. If this is the first time you're coming across Learn Web 3, or you just signed up for the hackathon because you saw it somewhere, um, well, our name is Learn Web 3. We're one of the leading educational platforms in this space. We do public good education, we do public good opportunities, so hackathons, bounties, things like that. Over the years, since we've started, we've trained over 180K students through the platform. We've given out over $100,000 in bounty prizes, not even including hackathons. Over 700K badges minted on chain that people get for completing lessons and courses and things like that. And it has always been 100% free, including this hackathon and everything else we do. So um, if you're new, this is what we do. And our mission is basically to make learning permissionless and accessible to everybody. So the the goal is like when I started programming, I'm very, very thankful to all the people on YouTube, on blogs, on websites that were able to, you know, teach me how to write code, and they all did it for free. So it's kind of a way to passing it forward and making education and learning accessible to everybody and free for all and collaborative. So that is what we do. Um, we also have our ranking system for devs, so this helps out a lot with opportunities. Since the last few months, I think we've tracked over 500,000 commits on GitHub, over 50 million contract deployments across networks, and a ton of XP has been given out. So this kind of like a dynamic competitive game style ranking system. For doing the hackathon, also you'll get some XP. You might have got some XP when you signed up for it, and top tier roles, sort of like grandmaster roles on the platform. We try to connect them with job openings here and there if we come across anybody. So this is a relative ranking compared to other students. There's no absolute value. Numbers go up, numbers go down, depending on what's happening. But yeah, that's some quick summary. That leads us to today, the Decentralized Intelligence Hackathon Season 2. So what does decentralized intelligence mean? If this is your first time you're taking part in the DI hackathon, the kind of overarching goal is that we have some crazy new technologies that are changing how we view the world. So, there's crypto and blockchain, the whole ecosystem around it, and then there's AI. So the hackathon kind of focuses on the intersection of AI and crypto. And there's a lot that can be done over here. I broke it down earlier on the Twitter space a few days ago, but I see like four major categories that I think is covered under AI and crypto. So number one is reputation or slash identity, which is kind of like how do we distinguish AI agents from real humans, right? And having some form of identity verification or some sort of scoring mechanisms. We have things like Gitcoin Passport, or for a more extreme viewpoint, like things like WorldCoin. So I think that is identity as a whole is quite important when it comes to AI and crypto. And identity gets built on top of sort of on-chain actions and data and reputation you can collect around a user. So that is overarching theme number one. Overarching theme number two is using AI to improve the user experience of crypto. So, like for a regular new person who's onboarding to crypto for the first time, wallets are hard, private keys are hard. Gas fees is hard to understand. There's 10,000 blockchain networks, and there's 10,000 versions of every token on different blockchain networks. So, how can we use AI to make all of this easier? We've seen in the past things like, like intent-based wallets. That could be cool. We've seen like other ideas include like, using AI to simplify transaction details, telling a user what's going on in a transaction without looking at Etherscan, because Etherscan is very intimidating to a new person. So along those lines, then we have sort of, making AI agents do on-chain stuff for us. So in the future, there's this really nice post, I believe by Chris Dixon, I might be wrong, about how in the future blockchains will be used more by AI agents than by actual humans, because agents are going to be offloading a lot of the work that we do today, and they will be global, right? They'll be connected to each other over the internet, and to pay each other for different services, they need access to sort of a near real-time global payment system. And that is where, AI agents will be using on-chain stuff, like we'll be using the blockchain to sort of, talk to each other, pay each other, and coordinate on a global scale. So that category is very, very interesting in AI and crypto at the intersection. And lastly, the final category off the top of my head is sort of decentralizing computation. So using blockchains as a way to, pool together resources required to train AI models, or, just pull together data that is required to train AI models in different ways. So being able to spread compute across and being able to pay people for, taking their computer resources, or for, incentivizing them to provide some data or things like that, therefore sort of decentralizing the whole process of machine learning in the first place. um, Again, this is not an exhaustive list. This is just like four categories I'm personally excited about. There are more, so feel free to use your imagination, but this is kind of like what we mean when we say decentralized intelligence and what is the intersection of AI and crypto. I see somebody in chat saying, "Oh no, I'm late." Don't worry about it. The workshop is recorded, so it will be up on our YouTube channel shortly. Well, I guess it's not really a workshop, but it will be up on our YouTube channel shortly as soon as possible, so you can go back and watch what you missed over there. Anyway, with that out of the way, for this hackathon, we have a $53,000 prize pool today. So that's like the overall prize pool that from all the sponsors combined. And the hackathon was supported by OpenAI. So if you signed up prior to March 14th, which was the cutoff date for early registration, you were asked to submit an OpenAI email. So we've sent that list forward to OpenAI, and over the next couple of days or so, you shall be receiving some free OpenAI credits to use to hack and build your projects. So shout out OpenAI for that. And coming to the key sponsors, so we have 8 amazing sponsors for season 1. Number 1, we have Arbitrum. You might have heard about Arbitrum, layer 2 solution for Ethereum. We have 2 workshops later today, actually, talking about Arbitrum and the bounties that they have and how you can get started building on top of Arbitrum. So keep an eye out for that. But shout out Arbitrum. Secondly, we have ChainSafe. ChainSafe does a lot of different things. You might have heard of them famously from, they're the creators of Web3.js, and they're also the creators of Lodestar, which is a Ethereum consensus node written in TypeScript. And then they have a bunch of other stuff they do within gaming and dev tooling and things like that. So shout out ChainSafe. We also have Flock and Ceramic. So Flock does, they're kind of like decentralized compute. So talking about it earlier, they do like, you can train AI models or ML models on Flock in sort of a decentralized manner. So do check those out. Ceramic is a decentralized data protocol. So, if you're doing anything that requires reading or writing a lot of data, or for things like on-chain reputation, or for things like, having like a decentralized data stream available to you, check out Ceramic. They also do some stuff in the identity space. So we'll have workshops for all of these happening over the next few days. So keep an eye out on the calendar. We have Tableland and Farcaster. So Tableland is a decentralized SQL database. Tableland is a decentralized SQL database, and you can use that again to like build data dashboards or store NFT data in a decentralized manner. it's basically a proper SQL database, but it's decentralized across the network. So you can use it for a variety of different ways. There's a ton of possibilities with what you can do over that. Then we have Farcaster. Um, Farcaster, it's a social protocol, and they have some bounties around building Farcaster frames, Farcaster apps, clients, things like that. So um, we'll have workshops for all of those throughout. Um, and last but not least, we have Internet Computer and BBB. So Internet Computer, it is a sort of relatively newer kind of blockchain. They call it the world computer, and it's basically a really it unlocks a lot of new possibilities that aren't things we think about typically when we talk about blockchains. So, for example, apps on the internet computer can directly be accessed through a web browser. Like you can host literally like full stack applications, front end and back end, directly on the internet computer. They also have integrations with Bitcoin, so you can do stuff between the IC and Bitcoin. So check that out. And lastly, we have VDB, which is a decentralized NoSQL database built on top of Arweave. And again, you can use it in all different sorts of ways for like data dashboards, for decentralized data storage, for data for AI models, things like that. So lots of good sort of integrations over here. I think like the sponsors we have this time, there's a lot of overlap in terms of you can pick a use case where you can easily make use of multiple of these sponsors, all while fitting under sort of the proposed use cases of intersection of AI and crypto. So super excited for that. And shout out to our community partners as well. We have Women in DeFi who have been helping us out, and we have Chainstack who's also been helping us out. You'll be seeing Chainstack around in the Hackathon Discord, in the Learn Web3 Discord over the next few weeks as well. Chainstack is actually going to be giving out coupons and free credits to their RPC services. So if you're building something that requires, an RPC to some blockchain node, but you can't seem to fit it in the free tier, Chainstack's going to be handing out free coupons for the paid tier. So do check that out. And shout out both Women in DeFi and Chainstack. There's a question in chat about what's the deadline to receive OpenAI credits. I actually don't know right now. I will follow up with you in the Discord after this as soon as possible. And I presume it should be within the week, but if I will confirm it on the Discord server shortly as soon as I can later today. Good question. Thank you for asking. Anyway, shout out all the sponsors. Let's go over some quick sort of rules and guidelines regarding this hackathon. So all official communication will happen through the Learn Web3 Discord. If you're there, or if you haven't joined it yet, make sure you go and claim the Season 2 hacker role from the Hackathon role channel on the Discord. You need that role to view the different Hackathon channels. So all official communication will be happening through that. All events, so that is workshops, like this event and any future workshops that are happening, things like that, are listed both within the Discord as well as on the website, like on the hackathon schedule section. So both of those, you can treat those as a source of truth for any timings or the schedule of the different workshops if anything changes. And same goes for the latest bounty information. So if you go to the hackathon website under prizes, we have detailed description of all the different prizes and what the different sponsors are looking for. That website bounty information is the source of truth. We don't expect any changes to happen, but in case any changes do happen, it will be reflected over there. So you can always go back to look at it if you're wondering what you're supposed to do. And definitely check those out before, just to determine whatever you're building fits the eligibility criteria and whatnot. Key dates that you should keep in mind. So right now is the opening ceremony. After this today, we have 3 workshops. So we have 2 Arbitrum workshops and 1 workshop from Internet Computer later today. And then tomorrow and day after is more workshops from some other sponsors. March 21st, which is Thursday, is quote unquote officially when hacking begins. So at that point, basically, you're free to go. Build will be having office hours the entire time. So March 21st to April 5th is like hacking time. And every day or every other day, we'll be in the Discord hosting office hours. Either me, myself, or somebody else from our team will be there running office hours. So if you have questions, if you need feedback on whatever you're building, if you're stuck somewhere and need help, join the office hours. We'll be there to help you out. Also, mentors from the different sponsors will also be there in the Learn Web3 Discord. So you can tag them in the hackathon channels if you have specific questions for them, right? And um, otherwise, just hop onto office hours and we'll help out as much as we can. Will all the workshops be recorded? Yes, they will all be recorded. They will all be posted to the Learn Web3 YouTube channel. Um, there's a little bit of a delay, obviously. So like we're doing this work session right now. We'll go back, it'll slightly be edited and then uploaded to YouTube, but all of them will be uploaded to YouTube like plus minus within 12 hours of them actually happening live. So you can always go back and catch up over there. Anyway, so March 21st to April 5th, hacking time with regular office hours. And then April 5th is the submissions deadline. So make sure you wrap up everything by that point. You have your project submitted. It is always better to submit something rather than nothing. So, if it's April 4th, it's the last day, you're grinding and you're kind of worried if you'll be able to complete your project. You still have like two pesky bugs you can't seem to solve. Just submit something rather than submitting nothing and trying to finish, right? And you can start like creating your submission as soon as possible. And you can like keep updating your submission up until April 5th. Like don't wait until the very last like 15 minutes to even start creating it. Um, and then finally, like after that, we'll have like the judging period and the closing ceremony and prizes will be announced on April 15th. Again, if you have any questions, if you have any doubts at any point, the Learn Web3 Discord is the place for communication. So ask over there, message somebody, tag me, tag some other members from the team if you have any questions. We will respond there as soon as possible. And perfect. Um, Lastly, some basic rules. So submitting past work is not allowed. This means that, if you've been working on something for, let's say, like a month already, and you just continue working on it and submit it, like that's not allowed because that happened outside the hacking period and isn't fair to other participants. If you have a past project that you are adding an entirely new feature to during the hackathon, technically that is okay, but you will be judged only on the new feature you create. So, and you have to make that very explicit in your submission. So if you have like a project from before, but you're like adding like some significant new feature, that is okay, but you have to make that very, very explicit, and judging will happen only within the scope of that new addition. And it must be significant enough. Like, for example, like if you already have a project that works on Ethereum and you just change two lines of code and deploy it to Arbitrum instead, that is not valid. That will not be considered. But if you do like something significant, that can work. If in doubt, ask in the Discord, and we'll confirm if we think it's valid or not. Anyway, one project per team or solo participant is allowed. Um, so you have one submission. The one submission obviously can extend to multiple sponsors. You can have a project that integrates multiple sponsors. That is totally fine. But one project per team in general. You can't submit like 5 projects. There can be up to 4 members in a team. And if you face any issues, have any questions regarding the rules, again, reach out on the Discord. That is the place for communication and resolving any doubts. Um, and yeah, like as I said, guidelines, you can build a project to target multiple bounties. When you're submitting your project, it will ask you to specify which bounties you're aiming for. So if you have a project that is targeting like 3 bounties, let's say, like make sure you specify all 3, because judges will only see bounties that you've targeted. So like judges from Arbitrum, for example, they'll only be able to see projects that specifically selected Arbitrum during the submission process. So make sure you specify those when you're submitting. Um, Make sure you're following the code of conduct. The full code of conduct can be found on the website, but TLDR, just be a nice person. Don't be mean, don't harass people, all the regular things. Just be a nice person. Full list can be found on the website. Full rules can be found on the website. And again, reach out if you have any questions at any point. Submission guidelines, submissions must be open source with a repository link attached. If you're concerned about unfair usage, if you end up building something you want to make a startup out of or whatever, um, add a license to it. You can like license it to like a BSL license, for example, but it must be open source, at least during the judging period. After judging is over, feel free to go make it private again. But during the judging period, it must remain open source. Video demos are, a great plus. We don't mandate it, but it's a huge benefit if you have a video demo, but don't make it any longer than 5 minutes. If possible, provide a link to a working project. And again, double check your submission, make sure all the details are there that you're looking for. Will there be programming language discrimination? No, no, that won't matter. Um, Perfect. And yeah, like generally speaking, judges will be scoring across four categories. So functionality of the project, uniqueness, usability of the project, and design. Certain bounties may have additional judging criteria. Refer to the website, the bounty descriptions to check if like the bounty you're going for has any additional criteria. But generally speaking, these four will be the main judging criteria. So it will be scored sort of 0 to 10 across all four of them by the judges, and then that's how the winners will be picked. Perfect. Um, yeah, code of conduct, just be a nice human, don't harass people, don't abuse people, it will result in disqualification, things like that. Go check out the full rules on the website if you need to. Now coming to bounties. Okay, all the formality paperwork stuff is done. Let's look at the bounties and let's see what we have. So first, we have Arbitrum with $15,000 in bounties. They actually have two bounty categories. So the first category is best apps on Arbitrum Stylus, with like first, second, third place being $3, $2, and $1,000 respectively. And the second bounty being best apps on Arbitrum overall, with $4, $3, and $2,000 prizes respectively. For Arbitrum's bounty, it's actually possible for a project to win both of these. Like it is possible that you build something on Arbitrum Stylus, and you get a bounty prize for best apps on Arbitrum Stylus, but you also get a bounty prize for best apps on Arbitrum overall. So that is possible. Just letting you know. This is listed in the bounty description as well, but it is technically possible to win both of these to a single project. But this is what we have here. Again, Arbitrum workshops happening later today if you want to learn about how to build on Arbitrum and Arbitrum Stylus and things like that. So do check those out. Otherwise, watch it on YouTube later. Then we have ChainSafe with $10,000. They also have two categories. This is actually really interesting. I really like this because bounty number one is the Web3 plugins Ideathon. This actually, you don't need to be a software engineer to do bounty number one because the Ideathon doesn't require you to write any code. It's literally, coming up with innovative use cases and ideas for Web3 plugins that they support. And you can be a non-technical person and still do this, which is really nice. And then bounty number two is a more technical bounty where you actually have to build those Web3 plugins. So we have $3,000 dedicated to the Ideathon and $7,000 dedicated to the Buildathon, with 5 winners each at different varying amounts. Then we have Flock for building dApps around, models that you can train on their decentralized AI training platform. This is flat, so we have 5 winners, $1,000 each, total $5,000 bounty from Flock. They'll also have workshops, I believe, tomorrow, so do check those out. Then we have another 5K from Ceramic for the best application or dev tools that are built using ComposeDB as a data layer. You can actually also use OrbisDB, but I'll leave that for the workshop. That is too technical for now. But best applications or dev tools built on top of Ceramic, basically. 5K split across three winners, so 2.5, 1.5, and 1K each. Can we train and use multiple models on Flock? Um, I believe you can. And for this is a question really better suited for the Flock workshop when that happens, so you can talk to, experts from their team. But I believe yes. I might be wrong though. Anyway, next we have Tableland, so 5K from Tableland for building open data sets or computation workflow using their SQL protocol or the replicator protocol. Again, some of this is some technical stuff, so if you don't fully understand what this means, check out resources that are linked in the bounty or go to their workshops and see what they're talking about. But 5K for building data sets or computation workflows on top of Tableland, spread across six winners. So first, second, and third place at 1,500, 1,250, and 750 USD each, and then three honorable mentions at 500 USD each. And we have Farcaster. So two bounty categories for Farcaster. Number one is building Farcaster frames with $2,000. So this is split across two winners at 1250 and 750 USD. And then we have second category at best overall apps on Farcaster, split $3,000 between three winners at 1500, 1000, and 500 USD. Similar to Arbitrum, this Farcaster bounty also technically allows you to win both of them. You could have a frame that wins the frame bounty, but then also wins the overall bounty. So keep that in mind. Technically possible to win both of these categories, same as Arbitrum. Cool. And then for internet computer, we have the general best use cases of ICP technology. So whether that's using their Bitcoin integration, whether it's building canister smart contracts directly on the IC, all of those are valid. Just overall best use cases at two winners at $2,500 each. And then last but not least, we have VeevDB with Builder DApp on the VeevDB decentralized database, $3,000 split between three people at $1,500, $1,000, and $500 prices. In addition to the monetary prizes, I just want to end with, there will be benefits sort of on the Learn With3 platform. So your rank, your levels, you'll be getting XP, you'll be getting limited edition NFTs. So participants will be getting some, and then winners will be getting unique special NFTs. And then, obviously that will result in higher XP, higher ranking on the platform, all of that stuff. So that's super cool. Up to 50,000 XP for the hackathon. And there's a question in chat. What about Chainstack? So Chainstack is a community partner. They don't have a sponsored bounty, but they are giving out coupons to their RPC services. So if you are building an app that requires an RPC that exceeds like the free tier, for example, Chainstack will be handing out coupons for their paid tier RPC, so you can get those for free. You'll be seeing them in the Discord, but they don't have a sponsored bounty for the hackathon. Cool. With that, huge shout out to everybody, huge shout out to the sponsors, huge shout out to everybody who's here, all the participants. We're looking forward to seeing what everybody builds. Again, at any point, if you have questions, if you need help, feel free to just ping us on the Discord channel, and we'll be there to help you out. And yeah, good luck, everyone. Have fun and build some cool shit. We're looking forward to it.